What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have an 04 Jeep Wrangler. I think the 04s are the JKs. Don't quote me on that. I don't really know my Jeep subtitles, whatever you want to call them. Numbers, letters, you know, that great. But this is an 04. If it's not a JK, y'all kind of let me know. But we're actually going to be doing AC compressor, condenser, which is up in here, and the dryer, and like a whole system rebuild pretty much. Your dryer accumulator lives down here against the firewall. These are quick disconnect fittings, so you're going to need a quick disconnect tool to get those off. The condenser, will have to unbolt the radiator and kind of lay it back. I know my voice kind of sounds a little weird, it's a little scratchy today. Sorry about that. And then our compressor lives under the power steering pump right there. This does have a 4-liter in it. 4-drive manual. I think got the MV3550 in it. It's got 33s on it. I know y'all can't see that, but yes, 33s right there. We got brand new tires on it. Overall, it's in pretty good shape. Not bad. But like I said, we're doing pretty much a full AC rebuild on this, and first thing I'm going to do is start pulling some of these lines off, and there is no Freon in it. I'll kind of show y'all. Let me grab a screwdriver. There's really nothing coming out, it's just air at that point. Right, just pressure, to be honest. But like I said, first thing I'm going to do is start pulling these lines off, getting the accumulator. It's one of those days. It's hot. It's humid today. Not really hot, but humid. But I'm going to get the accumulator off with the lines, and like I said, I'm going to have some quick disconnects. See if I can get this off. See, there's that, and then it's like a fuel line right there. Get the quick disconnect tool, and it should come off. We're going to be putting new O-rings on everything that we can. Let me grab a tool real quick. I like using these little plastic ones on the AC lines, just because to me they tend to work a little better. If I can get y'all in here, I'll do this. It's coming out, and there may be a little bit of pressure still in these, I don't know, but I just kind of pulled it back just a little bit, and you can probably hear it. It's hissing, so while it's doing that, I'm going to break these nuts loose, and I'm guessing they're 12s, 13s. We're going to break those loose, and then I'll pull the other one off. When you do this, just, I don't know if that's the right size. No, right, a size smaller. I can get it back off now. Yep, that's the right one. But just push it in there as far as you can. And come on. I'll pull it back. Oh, there it went. Alright, now, since we got that one off, we're going to go ahead and unbolt those like I said, and then we can go ahead and do the connector and pull the accumulator out of there. Here's the little bent line right there we took off first on the bigger side. See, it's 2 O-rings, so we're going to be replacing that. And this other side has an O-ring and like a little gasket. We'll replace both of those. I'll set that to the side. Kind of see down there, they are a little tight. Here's the one that come out. The right side, we'll replace those O-rings. This was the other side of the accumulator dryer. And now we'll pull that connector. Should just be a squeeze clip. Pull up and it should come off, and then I think there is a bolt that's holding that on. Can't really see. Yeah, there it is back there. Looks like a 10 millimeter from here. I know y'all can't see it. Let me get some light. I don't know which one of my flashlights actually works. They get some batteries in them. This is the compressor. Box looks like it's seen better days. That'll work. Alright, let's see if I can get y'all in there. I think y'all can kind of see the bolt. Looks like a 10 millimeter. But take that off and we should be able to just pull the dryer right out. Here is your accumulator dryer, and you don't have to take the bolt out all the way, and it is an 8 millimeter, not a 10. But you don't have to take it out all the way. The little slot that this slides in is slotted and opened on one end. So that's good, but we probably will have to take that pressure sensor off. Here is your new one, and got to switch over the pressure sensor. It does come with new gaskets. Here they are. And here is the part number. Got it from Napa. Not a sponsor, but it'd be nice if they were. 408401 or the 83106 accumulator. So we're going to take that sensor off, put it on the new one. We're going to be replacing these right here real quick, and I'm just going to use a pick and get underneath here if I can. There we go. There's one, and then you can take that one off. Then on this side we have two of them. One, two. Like I said, it comes with new gaskets right here. Here's the new one. Kind of push the little tabs down. That one. Be careful when you're doing it like that, so you don't tear it. There. Had to re-roll it. There's that one. Now that we got them all on, what we're going to do is go and put it on the accumulator now. And then on the accumulator it says do not over torque. Torque spec is 80 inch-pounds. I got it all started, and the way I did it was make sure you put a little bit of oil on the seals and put this side in first. Just kind of work it back and forth like that and slide it in real easy. And then I left the bracket part loose so I can move the accumulator up and down for this, because you're going to need to be able to let it move around. And then I just started the nut, and 80 inch-pounds isn't a lot. It's like 7.5 foot-pounds. So just be mindful of that. Now that we got that one in, we got the sensor on. Next step is to change the O-ring on this hose, and then we will put it on here and tighten that down. Then we'll tighten down the slide nut, jam nut, whatever you want to call it, on the little band that goes around the accumulator. So I didn't have any O-rings for that. They didn't send any, but what I'm going to do is I got some coming, but I don't think they'll be here until tomorrow, because it's about the end of the day, and we are not going to be able to get them to us. Same thing with the condenser. They ordered a condenser, but they sent the wrong part. So we're waiting on that, and they said that both of those would be in the morning. I understand, stuff happens, but I'm just going to keep trucking along until it's time to go home. Down here, there are 2 lines that go into the condenser, and we're going to take those off, and then we will take, there's a 10 right there and 1 down below it on each side. I'm going to take both of those off, and we'll kind of push the radiator back a little bit. We have probably about 3 inches or so that we can move the radiator back so that we can pull the condenser out. So that way we will get it out of the way, I hope. Alright, so I figured before I go any further, I kind of show y'all what I'm going to be doing. First, I took off the overflow reservoir. It is right there on the floor. And the way you do this is press in on the tank on that little spot right there, then lift straight up, and it comes right out. And it's in these little grooves right here, and there's one down there on the bottom. I took out 4 radiator bolts. They were 10 millimeters. You can see it moves, but we still got 2 more. But to make this easier, what I'm going to do is actually take the radiator out completely. I'm going to drain some of the coolant out, and we're probably going to drain all the coolant out, and I'm going to take the fan off and take the shroud out and all that stuff with it, just to make it easier. And then that way I can get to the AC compressor a whole lot easier as well, because then I can take the lower radiator hose off completely, and we should be able to get the compressor out a whole lot easier this way. And plus, with the way the condenser is, the lines that come in over here, getting it out, because we'd have to lean it forward enough to clear those lines how they come out, so it would be a little difficult to do it with the radiator in place. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the radiator and the fans off, and this has the big nut right here, as y'all can kind of see. I got my tool in here right now. It is a 36, and we're going to be using our air hammer. And if y'all are returning viewers, you've seen it before. I've used this multiple times, but I will put a link up to this tool in case y'all want to get one. It does work really well. It beats having to do it manually. Okay, I got the radiator kind of sitting back right here, and on these condensers, they got like little rubber plugs that hold the bolts in, and you gotta pry the bolt out, and they're a pain in the butt on these. I don't know why they did it this way. Just could have put a nutsert in there and be done with it, but we got them loose. We're going to try to pull this out, which is what I'm doing now. And here's what I'm talking about. Right there. To me, it's just a bad design. Cannot remember for the life of me if the new condensers come with new ones or not, but we're just going to leave that where it's at. And now all I got left to do is I'm going to clean all this off for one, but there's a lot of trash down in there. But we're going to clean all that out, and I'm probably going to pull the radiator completely out, because that will give me a lot more room to get to the compressor and all that stuff. All I got left is the lower radiator hose, and then we'll be done pulling the radiator out, that is. Now we have a better view of everything and shine a little bit of light on this situation. But now that we have the radiator out, we can go ahead and start taking the belt off. Tensioners right here. You'll need a 1/2 inch. Put it right there, and I think you pry it down, and then you can take the belt off. Just so everybody has the belt diagram, I'm going to start at the alternator under the idler, over to the power steering pump, over the top of it, down to the AC compressor, back up around the water pump, goes off the back of the belt, then comes back down onto the crank, around the bottom of the crank, up to the tensioner rods on the back of the belt, back to the alternator. So just kind of screenshot it or something if you need to, but that's your belt diagram right there. So the belt is off, and we'll kind of put it back the way it needs to be. So all I have to do is just wrap it around the compressor and we'll be done. So it's pretty much the end of the day. Last thing I'm probably going to do before I start picking up everything is take the hose off on this right here. It's just the hose clamp, and that way I have a better access to the AC compressor and we can start pulling everything off of it. But tomorrow when I come back, we should have the condenser, and then we can see how the compressor itself comes off. And you can see it's pretty rusty. And here it spins, and not a lot of play in it, but it did have a leak coming from the front seal. So that's the main reason we're changing this, because it had a leak here, one at the condenser and one at the old dryer. So, well, I guess I'll see y'all in the morning.